Hi, hello. My name is Leah Nelson, but I recently just got married, so I know I'm Leah Covey. You can see that my presentation today is on me and my husband, Britton. Um, we don't have a child yet, so this picture here is just a random picture I got off the internet. It's all hypothetical because we're hoping that this situation, for us to be buying a home, that we'll be able to in around 3 years. So in 3 years, I'll be 26. Britton will be 26 as well. And we're hoping to have about like a 1-year-old daughter by that point, maybe. And I will be working at a advertisement agency in Boncom, or I will have been working there. And Britton is working as a graduate assistant at the University of Utah for football. He played in college and so just went straight into coaching after he graduated. But we are hoping to be moving because hypothetically he gets a job offer at the University of Virginia because he has some connections there. So that is our hypothetical situation. That's where these homes are located. You can see this is our dream home, so it's nice and fancy and big. It has 5 bedrooms and 4 baths. It has 2 acres of property attached to it, so there's more than enough room for just the 3 of us, and has a lot of yard. But we are hoping to be in this home for a little while, and so we're hoping that our family does grow a little bit and to have a few more kids while being there. This next home, you can see, is still very beautiful and still meets all of our kind of like requirements for a home that we are looking for. It does have 1 less bedroom and 1 less bathroom and a much smaller yard. But again, totally livable and an awesome option. Both of them are about 10 to 15 minutes away from the university. So that'll be nice for Britton as he will be commuting to work each day. So our financial situation currently is fairly good. We are comfortable, definitely, but we're also living like poor college students, regardless of the fact that we're comfortable, just because we are trying to save up in order to have a good, or just in order to make a big purchase like a house in the future. One thing that does make our situation a little bit unique is Britton, when he was younger, received a large amount of money from his grandparents. And so luckily he was smart with it and invested it. And over time that has, we have over $100,000 in savings and in stocks and things like that. So yeah, I've gone over this a little bit, but our home features that we were looking for were at least 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. And so as you can see, both house options had those features. So really either is a great option. Our family budget, I won't go over every row here, but we did create this budget according to what his salary would be when we moved to Virginia. I think I did this wrong at first, so I went back just a few days ago and reworked this budget. I did it according to the home that we did decide to purchase in the end. In our savings plan, so we do have a small like emergency fund right now, but we are hoping to make that bigger so that it can cover us for a whole 6 months. And we plan to do that by saving, by putting away at least $500 per month for our savings. You'll see in our budget that we were actually able to exceed that 500, which is exciting because we'll be able to reach our goal a little bit faster than we thought we would be able to. Okay, when we were comparing interest rates, I was still hoping that we'd be able to purchase our dream home at this point. So these are the interest rates for the dream home, 30 years compared to 15 years. And even though we don't end up going with the dream home, I guess spoiler alert, but it was a good lesson to just train me on like how much higher interest is 30 years compared to 15, and like over time you end up paying a significant amount more if you end up going with the longer plan. Taxes, you'll see in the bottom left corner that our family tax liability wasn't different enough with a home versus without a home. So it didn't like dissuade us from wanting to purchase a home, which was exciting. As far as transportation, we do have a 2020 Toyota RAV4. So we're good with at least one car for 10 plus years, which we are happy about. One of our cars, though, is a 2013 Nissan Rogue, and it's still doing fairly well, and we're hoping to get like another 5 years out of it. We're planning on just running that one into the ground. So, as many years as it will let us, we'll take it. And so for this reason, we decided to not put having a car payment in our financial plan. But at this point, when we were looking at transportation and realizing that we could potentially have a car purchase in like the nearish future, we started thinking that the modest home was the better option because it would give us a little bit of flexibility within our budget so that we could make room for a car purchase or car repairs and things like that if we needed them. As far as long-term debts, we feel lucky because due to scholarships and things like that, where we were able to stay out of debt. The one long-term debt that we do have consistently is our tithing. So that comes out of our paycheck every month. And we each do have credit cards, but they're set on an automatic payment. And so technically it's not really a long-term debt because we do just pay it off right away. Okay, this is when we were calculating the total cost per month if we were to go with the modest home. And as you can see, the total is $3,057, which is within our range of like debt capability. And I think the next slide even, yeah. So according to the 36% rule, because our back end ratio was under 36%, it ended up being 32.64. So that means that we could qualify for our home mortgage and even gave us like a little bit of leeway again if we needed to purchase a car or something like that. Okay, so rent versus buy, we still did consider renting because purchasing a home is somewhat risky for us because there's not a lot of job security in coaching and football. And so, especially starting off, you can switch schools a lot of the time. You sign a contract that it's usually around like 2 to 3 years. And so it is a little bit riskier purchasing a home because there's a slight chance that you could be moving in like 2 to 3 years. But we're hoping that it will last longer than 3 years. And I guess the con of renting kind of like outweighed the pros of renting because for what we were looking for our home and especially trying to get in like a good area for our kids to have good schools and whatnot, it was just a lot harder to find and would end up being almost as expensive as just purchasing and paying a mortgage each month. So in the end, we did decide to go with purchasing the modest home. So here are the calculations for a 15-year plan versus a 30-year plan. You'll see that if we go with the 30-year plan, we would save almost $119,000. So because we have that chunk of savings, we do want to do the 20% down payment to avoid PMI, the mortgage interest, and then we will have the capability to pay it off quicker, which is another reason why we chose the modest home. So we can just avoid all that interest and then use this extra like $119,000 to either invest or put away in savings. It was really cool to see what it could amount to if we chose to invest the money. What this shows is the money that we would have spent on the dream home each month if we use that money, that extra bit, and actually invest it, that over a period of 30 years, it will grow into over $2 million, which is a pretty significant amount, which definitely helped, I think, finalize our decision to purchase the modest home. So, yeah, as I've kind of already said, we did decide to purchase the modest home, and we decided to go with the 15-year plan so that we can save in interest. And we will have to, tighten up our budget a little bit more because our mortgage will be more expensive each month, but we totally think it's doable and well worth it in the end. The dream home would have been nice because it's beautiful and big, but really it's more than we need. And so we feel like we'll be more than happy with the modest home. And I think, yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you.